All right, and we back. Gonna talk a little bit about college football today. I haven't done one of these in a while, but college football has had an incredible couple weeks, maybe even a month at this point. The date I'm recording this is January 12th. Reason I'm bringing that up is because at the end of the day, we've seen a lot of stuff. We just saw the semifinals, and the semifinals were awesome. I'm talking awesome. I mean, I'm going to talk some winners and some losers here in a second. And the reason I'm bringing that up is we're going to start with the winner, Jack Sawyer. I mean, he legitimately might have one of the greatest plays in Ohio State football history. Like, he is a legend. If you're not familiar with Jack Sawyer, he grew up about 30 minutes away from Ohio State, from Columbus, and he had the play of the game. He sacked Quinn Ewers, strip sacking 83, I think it was 83 yards, scoop and score. He sacked Quinn Ewers, stripped him at the same time. His former roommate, I'm sure you've heard that at this point, and then scored the game-winning touchdown, game-clinching touchdown right before 2-minute warning. Legitimately, arguably one of the greatest players in Ohio State history, and there's a lot of them. Ohio State has a rich history. I mean, he legitimately, that's like the moment. That's like when you come into your own, you have your moment. That might be his moment. And the situation was obviously incredible, right? 4th and goal. They stopped him at the 1-yard line. Jack Sawyer himself batted down Quinn Ewers' pass on 3rd down, obviously had the strip sack on 4th down. And he was Ryan Day's first commit ever. I mean, it is looking like a good one. Jack Sawyer, a huge winner so far. Next up, going to talk about a loser, Drew Aller. Drew Aller in that passing game was terrible, especially down the stretch. He was just it looked like he was puking all over himself. Like he shot himself in both feet. Like, it was unreal. And the kid's got a lot of talent, like, objectively. But on the biggest stage when they needed him most, he just disappeared. And really, don't even want to say disappeared. He showed up for Notre Dame instead. And it's not like that was the only mistake he made. There was the holding call, or the DPI, I forgot which one it was, in the second half, saved Drew Aller from another interception anyways. Like, he threw that ball into literal quadruple coverage and got bailed out by a call. Whether or not it was pass interference or whatever, you don't throw that ball because you can't rely on the refs to make, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not a smart call. You don't remember that as much because Nick Singleton scored, and it is what it is. But I mean, Aller's stat line, I'm looking at it here, 12 for 23, 135 yards, no touchdown passes, interceptions. He didn't find a wide receiver one time. Every completed pass was to a tight end, and not just Tyler Warren. Penn State does a lot of tight ends, and some good, and obviously Singleton and Kaytron Allen. It was terrible, and he was definitely one of the losers of the semifinals. Flip side, obviously the winner of that is the Irish. I wouldn't want to say they needed luck, but at halftime they looked left for dead, like straight up. And they came out and played much better in that second half. Marcus Freeman, there was reports that he had an incredible halftime speech. They were down 10 points. They ripped off 17 in a row. Penn State obviously bounced back and got 2 more touchdowns. But then Jaden Greathouse, I mean, that was an incredible route. A double ankle breaker to score a touchdown. And then Christian Gray, the interception, setting up the game-winning field goal. Listen, Notre Dame, I didn't pick them to win a national championship when the playoff bracket came out, not at all. But once we got to the semifinals, I definitely believe that this was the team to beat. And I don't know about that now because Ohio State looks great, but they're here for a reason. Another loser is Texas's defense. I mean, listen, the Texas defense is elite. There's no doubt about it. But with the game on the line in the fourth quarter, Ohio State they won the game playing some Big Ten football. They were forced to run the ball, and they did that well. Texas blanketed Jeremiah Smith, 1 catch for 3 yards. They did a great job, whether it was double teaming him, disguising coverages, bracketing him with the double safeties over the top. And even Emeka Egbuka, he only had 3 catches, and he had 3 catches in that first drive, but he only had 1 the rest of the game. But that's where the rest of the Buckeyes took over. Final drive, 88 yards on 13 plays, chewing up 7 minutes and 45 seconds in the fourth quarter to take the lead with just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth. And then obviously Jack Sawyer's scoop and score seals the game. But the drive that put the Buckeyes ahead by a touchdown was huge. Will Howard, 4th and 2, managed to get 18 yards. And again, he would have scored if he didn't fall over his own feet. Quinshon Judkins scores there. G. Scott caught 3 passes on that drive alone. Carnell Tate had a big grab. Quinshon Judkins had 2 catches. Texas was super focused on not letting Ohio State go over the top, and they did a great job of that, but they failed to stop them from going underneath, and that's why they lost this game. Back to the other game, Notre Dame, another set of winners. Notre Dame needed big plays, and they got big plays from clutch players who have been there and done that before. Obviously, Christian Gray's diving interception to Drew Aller with 33 seconds left. That pretty much flipped the momentum of the game entirely. Obviously, you heard Greg McElroy on the broadcast say you should be aggressive if you're Penn State, and they did just that, and it cost them. It burned the hell out of them. And this wasn't the first time Christian Gray had done that. He picked off, I don't know if it was, I forget if it was Miller Moss or Jaden Maava, but he had a pick 6 against USC to pretty much send them to the college football playoff. And then Mitch Jeter, the transfer from South Carolina, he battled injuries and he was not that good regular season, but he has been money in the playoffs. He's made 7 of 8 in the playoff, 5 of 6 on career go-ahead field goals, and the only miss was a 62-yard field goal against Northern Illinois, their only loss earlier this season, and that was blocked. He's been clutch. He's got nails. And listen, Notre Dame, they've got some big-time players. The next loser is Little Games James, and you know who I'm talking about, Penn State coach James Franklin. And I don't feel sorry for him. He was talking a lot. When you talk and you can't back it up, I don't feel sorry for someone like that. He was talking all pre-game about Notre Dame needs to join a conference. We need college football to be uniform. But I mean, listen, here you want to talk about a narrative. James Franklin can't win a big game ever. He's 4-20 against top 10 opponents as Penn State's coach. 1-15 against top 5 opponents, including 13 straight losses. And these are AP ranking numbers because obviously, if we look at they beat Boise State, and Boise State was technically 3. But the rankings for Boise State had them, I believe, at 9. It's not much better when Penn State's top 10 team because they're only 3-11 when he's there. Listen, James Franklin, they needed James Franklin just can't win the big game. And if you look at how their schedule set up, especially in the playoff, they had SMU. I like SMU, but SMU's big problem for me was they had never been there before. And Penn State, not like they have, but playing a home game against a team that had never been there before, recipe for disaster. Then you play Boise State, another team that really had never been there before, and they were a group of 5 team. I thought Boise State was going to give them a better showing, but that defense was everywhere. And then you play Notre Dame, another team that consistently, at least we kind of think of them, they haven't really been there in big moments. And listen, Marcus Freeman, he out-battled James Franklin. And the final winner I want to talk about, back to the Ohio State game, weirdly enough, I don't think we've talked about this that much, Travion Henderson. I mean, he is legitimately like a human Pop Rocks in a Coke bottle. Like, the dude is just waiting to blow out. With just 29 seconds, obviously, he had, I think it was a 73-yard screen pass for a touchdown. What an incredible play. Slipping through defenders. Great job by the offensive line and the receivers downfield blocking. But he looked like he shot out of a cannon. Like, he was incredible. It was really cool to watch this game. Really, the play was awesome. It reminded me, again, not the exact same, but to me, it just reminded me of when Zeke Elliott, I think it was his rookie year, scored like a 73-yard screen pass against the Steelers. And it's just where my head goes. I think it was 73, 75 yards, something like that. But it was obviously really cool also because he had the personal foul call against Texas where he popped that Texas offensive lineman. And listen, it was damn near a home game for Texas. And as soon as they did that, the energy got sucked out of the stadium. And I'm really excited for the national championship. Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I know I want Notre Dame to win. I don't know what the line is as of right now. I think I'd be willing to bet Ohio State's favorite, especially because they look like they've played dominant. And they've played a tougher schedule, right? You beat Oregon on the West Coast. You beat Texas in Texas. You play Tennessee, who is objectively a tougher opponent than SMU. And yeah, I think I'm going to go with Ohio State, but I want Notre Dame to win. You know what? Fuck it. We're going with Notre Dame. I'm gonna be risky. I'm going to do it. Make sure to comment down below who you think is going to win the College Football National Championship. And make sure to comment down below what else you want to see me do. Like and subscribe. You guys know what to do. And YouTube thinks you're going to like this video. Find out if they're right.